Hi, I'm Ruthie of Brick Girl Studios. Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to cut out an object in Photoshop with the shadow so that you can place it on any color background you like. Let's go. Okay, I've just opened up our original image that I shot in my studio. And here is what it's going to look like when we've cut it out and put it on a solid background. The reason we cut it out and put it on a solid background is because it then gives us the ability to change the color to whatever we want. So you can see it's on its own layer. And now if we go to the color picker, we can pretty much put any color behind it. And you'll notice that the shadow blends with all of these colors, and that's because of the adjustment layers we're going to add to it. So the first thing we're going to do, that I always do, is to make a duplicate of the background layer. And you can do this by dragging it down, dragging it down to the new layer icon, or you can press Command J on your keyboard. It will do the same thing. And the reason for this is if I do something destructive to a layer, like say I'm just going to paint here with some red paint all over this layer, now I can't remove it. So to have a copy of the background layer is incredibly handy in case I make a mistake like this. So you can see, there it is. Okay, so let's remove that layer. Get rid of that rubbish. And let's duplicate it once again. So we always have that background layer just in case. Now we need to cut out the tray. So we're going to zoom in, so we're really close and we can see what we're doing. We're going to press P on our keyboard to select the pen tool. And we're going to draw an outline around the tray so that we can cut it out. Okay, it's going to take a minute, so I will just speed this up. You could also use the Select Subject tool in Photoshop, but I find using the pen tool is just way more accurate. When you get to the end of your selection, you join the dots up like this, right click, and make selection. And we're going to keep the, make selection. And we're going to keep the pixel value at 0 because we want a really tight selection. Now to put this on its own layer, we're going to hit Command J. And now you'll see it's completely isolated on its own layer. The background has been removed. It's still there, I've just hidden the layers, but it's on its own layer now. You can see we can turn the layer on and off. Now we're going to cut out the shadow, but shadows are incredibly diffused, even hard shadows like this. If we zoom in, we can see that there's a gradient from dark to light. So this is going to make it incredibly difficult to cut out without some Photoshop wizardry. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to take our pen tool again, P on the keyboard, and we're just going to cut around the shadow. You can be really rough with this, it doesn't matter. Just stay fairly close and then join up the dots, right click, make selection, keep the value at 0, Command J, and it's on its own layer. I'm going to rename the layer Shadow so I know what it is, and then I'll rename this layer Tray. Oh, can't spell, that's helpful. Tray. Okay, good. So let's go back to the shadow layer and we're going to change the blend mode to multiply. Now we're going to add our first adjustment layer, which is a black and white adjustment layer. And we're going to clip that to the layer, so that means that black and white only affects the shadow. And the reason we're doing this is to withdraw any of that pink color from the shadow, which will mean it will then absorb the other colors we put behind it. The next adjustment layer we're going to add is the levels adjustment layer. And again, we're going to clip it to the shadow layer, so it only affects the shadows. Take the highlight slider and gently slide in from the left just until that hard edge of the shadow disappears, just like that. Let's just zoom in and look at that one more time. You can see as the slider is dragging from right to left, boom, that hard edge disappears. Now we can turn off our background layers, leaving us only with the tray and the shadow, and we can add a solid color layer beneath both of them. So let's choose solid color. it's picked red, that's what I'm on for some reason. And there you have it. And just to go back to the one I completed earlier, if you click on the solid color layer, you can choose any color you like. And you could even maybe put a gradient layer behind it. So let's try this. What are we going to pick? Oh, that's cool. Or maybe, let's see, the purples. This one. Yes, love that 90s vibe. And that's it. That's how you cut out an object and a shadow so that it can be put on any colored background.